So everybody's here.
Yeah, no, we'll wait for a few more minutes. It's 1:57 right now. We'll
Oh,
start
okay.
yeah, in a few more minutes. People slowly come in, and I'm preparing
Okay.
for the live broadcast right now. We're going to be going live on YouTube today.
Perfect. Just let me know.
Yep, no problem. One second. There we go. How's everyone doing? People are still joining in. Oh, I see CD.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hi. Where are you coming from?
Poland.
Poland.
Poland, eh? Chris, huh? I saw you,
Så etter å ha
yeah.
introdusert deg, så kan du sette deg ned
Yes.
litt. Etter å ha introdusert deg, så kan du sette deg ned litt, så vinker jeg. Ok?
Okay. All right.
Another
2 more minutes.
2 more minutes.
All right.
Yeah, everyone can, get acquainted and, start warming up on your own a little bit. And then turn on your camera if it's convenient for you, and so we can observe, help provide feedback, and to give feedback to our instructor also, because it's been quite challenging, since this is new for all of us, and it's quite hard for our instructor to be teaching in front of a piece of metal without feedback. So yeah, we appreciate it if you could like turn on your camera, only if it's convenient. Yeah.
Yeah. It's much better for me to see somebody. Definitely.
Okay. One more minute, and people are still coming in. Okay. So today we're going to have instructor Espen and Andresen. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Perfect.
Okay. So
Okay,
yeah, and he's our instructor based in Norway and Oslo. He been learning Joseon for 9 years and been teaching for 8 years. And today he has his assistant with him, which is his 13-year-old son, and he's also been training Joseon Ili Chen. Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about it more? Introduce yourself or your son.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Aspen, you okay? You go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take it from here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So yeah, as Jens, first of all, welcome everybody, and thank you for taking the time to come here and do this session with us in this special situation that we're in, that we're not able to meet in a training hall. So thank you for the introduction, Yen. As she said, my name is Espen Andreasen. I run the Norwegian school of Songqingdao Ilikchuan. And this is my son, Kevin. He's been training with me for how long? It's been like 3 years, something. A little bit on and off, but lately more so. So yeah, yeah. Thank you. So I a little bit of my background. I started like when I was 7 in martial arts. So my heart is in martial arts. I would say. So that's my my viewpoint here for this session today, which is the benefit of curriculum, which is the focus point today. So I started when I was 7 in karate, and I did a little bit of taekwondo for some years. I went very fast into Tai Chi. I did young style Tai Chi for a lot of years. I did Jeet Kune Do, and growing up, had the Bruce Lee posters and everything. And then I went into a school that had Chen Tai Chi, and I was a Norwegian master for one time with competitions. Did a lot of push hands competitions, so got like a lot of medals, whatever. And I also been studying praying mantis kung fu, a few of those styles. For those who know, I did 8-step praying mantis and plum blossom. But I majored in something called Pi Gua Tang and Baji Xuan. So anyway, this long journey brought me to meet this wonderful guy, Sam Chin, in London in 2011. And by then, I had quite the reputation, and I had a long history of training martial arts. So, yeah, so that's in short how I met Sifu, my trainer, Grandmaster Sam Chin. So that was a little bit about me. Anyway, today we are looking into the benefit of having a system, a curriculum that we go through, like from A to B. And what is good with having a system that we follow? You could say, picture this. There's 2 students coming into a classroom. They're both going to go take this class for whatever, like a piano class or something, for a year. And one student, he comes up to the teacher, and the teacher says, yes, you can do whatever you like the whole year. There is no tests. There is no milestones. Just do whatever you like. He's very happy and can do whatever he likes. And the second student, he comes up to the teacher, and the teacher says, yes, there's going to be a set of things that you have to look into. And by the end of the milestone, we're going to have a test. We're going to see how you did. If you didn't do good enough, you're not going to progress into the second progression, which is the second milestone of the curriculum. And by the end of the year, you're going to have a big exam. Which 2 of these do you think will progress the fastest? It's pretty obvious. So that's why there's important to look into the system itself and to follow it step by step. Because in actuality, and I can refer back to myself, I know very much what I like and what I don't like. But so it's very easy to get into the situation that you only train things that you like. But if you go through a system, there's some parts of the system that you don't like, and your teacher will be like, you have to practice this too. Because at the end of the curriculum, it has like what do you call it? A connection. The whole system has a connection, right? So even like you go through a curriculum, you do something that you like, and you do something that you don't like, and at the end of the test of the milestone of the material that you didn't like, and you still pass, you know that, okay, I'm at this level. So that's why it's so important to have a system. Now, as you might understand from my past, I've been going through some systems before. Elite One is totally different in the sense that it's based on recognizing and realizing. So what does that mean? I mean, other school, you could say, and some teacher would say, this is just mind point of view. Like if you send the student into a corner and you say, yeah, just do 1,000 punches, just, do them 1,000 times, you'll get it in the end. That's not the way ELIX One approaches things. Because we first want to look into what we're doing, like the instant feedback from realizing, like recognizing and realizing. So from the first exercise, you already start to look into recognizing and realizing right away. So today I'm going to be covering, I'm not going to talk a lot. I'm just going to do a little talk in the beginning here now. So today I'm going to let you see, to the best of my ability, how the system is built up so that you do one exercise and you recognize and you realize one thing or two so that you are able to go and progress into the next exercise. So today we'll go to 3 basic exercises so that, and I'll start from number 1 because that makes sense. So you go 1, 2, 3 basic exercise, and I'll let you know what you're supposed to recognize and realize in the first one, what you're supposed to look for and recognize and realize in the second one, and also the third one. Okay? So we only have an hour, so I'm going to try and run you a little bit through this. So in the martial sense, we want to be as strong as we can, right? Like we want to be strong. And what is strong? Well, you could say to be strong is to have the balance. Because if you're off balance in a martial sense, you are not strong. So can I borrow you, Kevin, just for a brief second here? Let's say now, if you could say a punch, like it's a push, right? Only it's done fast, right? So a punch only it's a push, but it's done fast. In order for the punch to be powerful, you need to have the structure behind you, right? If you are really strong and you only use from the shoulder, you do have some power there, but that's what we call segmented power, and it's not to its fully potential. Okay? So this means if I'm in this situation, I pushed or I punched, I should be in the state that if he pushes here, which is the point where I want to, hold on just a second, is the point where I want to generate power, and I'm in a perfect stance, right? He starts to push, and I wasn't in a perfect stance. Where do you think the energy will go in a real life situation? Seriously, I would be boom, pushing myself out, right? So that's why it's so important to look into the structure and the alignment that we're going to go through today. And I'll go into details. Hold on. Okay, so once we get into this and we realize the structure of our self, the structure of our bones, the muscles and the muscle group and everything, we start to realize we have a center of gravity, right? A center of gravity that falls on a line. This line we call the alignment line. The alignment line. Because in the same situation here, and you hold here. I don't know if you can still hear me in that thing. Yeah. Okay, so if I check myself here and he starts to push, is a different story, right? Like if I could, all my punches had this structure behind it, that would be a good, not perfect, but it would be a much better point than what I showed you before. Now, if I can recognize my alignment within myself and I can recognize the yin and yang muscles within me, so I'm really familiar with myself, I can also start to recognize that within others So because they also have alignment line and yin and yang muscles, so in that sense, from here, I could start to manipulate that line, or you see, so to use my alignment to start and manipulate others. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So that was like a real fast of what we're going to do today. Oh, yeah. And one more thing, Kevin, again. We're also going to look into opening and closing of the body. Okay. So that means at the end of the day, you're also going to learn how to wipe, like hold a, here, like a guard, right? So we're going to like wiping to punch. Okay. So like just to do this for 1 hour, go really quick. Thank you. Like a wipe, just so that you can take this with you and you can use it at practice at home. That was that was what I was gonna do. Okay, so first I want you to just simply do the basic exercise number 1 with me and see if we can stretch the connection through the basic number 1 to basic number 3. So right here, I have a cross on the floor here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my center of the foot here on this line. If you don't have a line on the floor, that's fine. Just put your feet like parallel like this as much as you can. Now, what I want you to do first is to simply stand and bring your attention to yourself. Bring your attention to your senses. If you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes. And start to feel. Feel the fabric on your skin from the clothes that you're wearing. Feel the breath as you breathe in. The taste in your mouth. Also feel the pressure on your feet. Now, feel that the pressure is put on the center of the sole of the foot. Now feel this pressure. Now from here, we're going to start to rock slowly forward and back. I'm going to shift here, but you can stay the same. So here, I'm going to rock forward. I'm going to rock backward. I'm going to go forward. As I do this, I recognize within me, and you might be able to see this, if I go forward, the energy really rises up and I'm almost falling. As I come to the center, I'm able to relax more. I go back, the energy rises, and I get tense up. So what we want to look for in this exercise is, just keep going, is that when I rock forward, I'm almost about to fall, and you feel the muscles gripping onto your skeleton to hold you back, not to fall, right? As you come back to the center, they let go, they release. And as you go back, there's a different muscle group doing the same thing, gripping on the skeleton, making sure you don't fall. These two muscle groups are the flexors and the extenders. In Chinese terms, you would call it the yin and yang muscle, right? So keep going. So we go forward, we go backward. So we start to recognize there are two different muscle groups that are gripping onto the skeleton so we don't fall. We're going to start to go a little smaller and see if we can catch this process, because that's what we want to look for. The process of the tension that builds up through the body, to see if we can stop the tension at the hip area. Okay? So I'm going to lean forward or go forward here. Stop when the tension comes to the hip. and then go back and stop again when it comes to the hip. If you're not sure, you can try and go, oh yeah, that's above the hip. I'm going to go back here to check it out. So do that a couple of times. Now from here, we're going to try and stop it by the knee. See if we can put the attention there on ourselves to stop it and recognize when the muscles tense up and when they do not. Okay. Now try to stop it by the ankle. Still feel the pressure on the feet. Now from here, see if you can stop it, like going to the toe, to the heel, to the toe, to the heel. Feel the center of the foot. Really feel the center of the foot. Now, if you're perfectly in center, you should be very relaxed. Should feel relaxed. Less tension. Okay, that was basic number one. So for basic number one, you recognize the yin muscle, the yang muscle, and you realize they drag you back to hold your alignment line. And we'll get back to the alignment line. As you can see, I'm on a line here. Now, if I put my center of the foot on this line, I'm standing straight up, right? I'm going to slightly open my joints a little bit, the knee here, like opening them so they don't hyperextend. Just slightly come down here. Like from here, I'm going to try and connect the top of my head right here where the headphones are. This point through my whole body into the center of the mass of my body here, the center here, coming down through the perineum point. The perineum point is the point between your genitalia and your anus. So that point, and I'm going to put that point, balance it on this line, which is between the center of my foot. So this line, I'm going to pay a little bit of attention to this today. But first, we did the rocking. So we saw yin and yang muscle. Now from here, we're going to start to move up and down. So we're going into the basic number two now. So as I come down, I'm going to bring my hands up. As I go down, as I come up, I'm going to bring my hands down. Okay? I don't want you to like use your muscles to press. Just feel and try and recognize within your body more than pressing. Okay, so just keep going up and down. Up and down. Remember when we did the rocking, we created like 3 points because we had like front, back, and center. Okay? So as we come down, we're going to put our attention to the front here. Like all the muscles just drop on the front. But I'm still going to keep the center. So that means if I'm like 3 points here, and before I was doing yin, center, yang. What I'm going to do when I do absorb, what we call it when we go on the front here, I'm going to keep the center and do the yin. So I'm going to do keeping the center, but coming to the front. So if I'm centered here, like totally on the center, I'm going to go slightly to the front, but don't leave the center. So I'm going to keep 2 points to come down, draw. So I'm dropping the yin muscle here and dropping the yang muscle on the legs. As I come up, I'm going to raise the yin muscle here and also expand and raise the yang muscles on the back. Okay? So this is like down with the body, hands go up, down, up. As much as possible, we want to keep the continuity in this. I won't go too much into detail on that right here because that's basic exercise number out there. Not one of the 3, but still. So we're going to go up. On the top here, we're going to do a slight loop. To do this, to feel that we go to the back, to come up, and then on the top here, we're going to do a slight stretch to come to the front. So that you stretch to go to the front, but keep the center. You loop to go to the back, but keep the center. Again, 1, 2. So, what do we recognize and realize with this? We do recognize that when we go down, we have the yin muscle on the upper body coming down. And also the yang muscle on the lower body going down. So we're dividing the body here, you could say, upper and lower part of the body. So we're going down, and then we're coming up using the yin on the lower part of the body, yang on the upper part of the body. Okay, so that was up and down. Up, down with the hands. For this exercise, you're going to keep it on the hands on the body line, right here. Because the body line is a transition of whether you're pushing or whether you're projecting or absorbing, not pushing and pulling. That's the direction. So actually, I'll show you. Kevin, come here, please. Because it's not, we don't want to pull just to pull. Here, if I'm like, let's see, I want to pull Kevin out, right? I could do this 2 ways that I know of. I could do it this way and start and lean and pull. But if he changed and he starts to push, I'm out because I went to my extreme. That was one way. The second way is if I keep my center and I fall on the front, it's the same pressure. But if Kevin changed, I can change with him because I kept the center. So I did this thing. I went to yin and center, yang to center again. So I can pull doing this, like compromise myself, and he changed, and I might not be able to change with it. If I do this, drop on the front, I'm still pulling him. So you see? So as much as possible, we want to maintain that center. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, so if we can do the hands up and down equal, this means we should also be able to do them alternate. So let's try that. So let's just do one arm first, like stretch and come up, absorb, and then down. Now, as the hand is down, the other hand is up. Now from here, I'm going to stretch this and loop this at the same time, and then turn. So this means that just keep going, and I'll try and explain this as I do the exercise. This means that you divide the body into 4 already with the muscle groups in that sense. So you keep the alignment, remember the alignment, so you turn around the alignment using the structure to to hold the alignment. So do 1, 2. This means this hand here is doing project, which means I'm using yin muscle here, coming over, up, and crossing here to do the yang muscle to press down. And this is doing the opposite. This is doing the suction of the yin muscle here, and then dropping of the yang muscle on this side. You see how that crosses over? So you see what I mean by recognizing that you are already dividing the body around the alignment, turning and dividing it in 4, not just up, down, yin, yang, but actually yin, yang, yin, if that makes sense. Yeah. So already this should actually demonstrate how the system itself is built up for you to recognize one thing and you go into the next exercise. And if you didn't get the first milestone, you will still get something out of the exercise, definitely, but you should be able to see how that progression is going. Okay, so we did the alternate. Now from here, we're going to shift into in and out, like forward and back. Same thing. Like even if your attention is not so good that you can actually like feel all the 4 different quadrants on the coming in and out with the hands, if you can feel the rotation of the alignment, it's already good. Just to come out, to go in, like this. Yeah. Seems like such a easy exercise. A lot of stuff going on. Of course, coming from martial arts, all these exercises has a martial application to it. And like after you go through the whole curriculum, you can just start over fresh, go straight back into basic number 1 and have a new and like I would say higher understanding of not just yourself, but the connection of it all, so that you can drag it into the first exercise and go through the whole curriculum again and just self-growth, really. Okay, so we did absorb, project, alternate, absorb, project, absorb, project. Now, let's play a little bit more with this one, because actually there's something more going on here. So we divide the body in 4. As we're turning, we're doing opening and closing. Obviously, we're opening and closing all the joints in unison, right? To make the alignment line just shift here to turn. But what I'm gonna put the focus on is the body line, this line here, this one. Because there's a transition. If I want to push a car, I wouldn't go at it like have my hands on the inside of the body line, like to push a car. If I really wanted to put my back into it, I would probably put my hands on the outside, not even probably, or put them here, I would have some power. Or if I were to pull something, I wouldn't, like if there's a rope or something, to grab the rope and then pull it from here, it doesn't make sense. And we kind of naturally know that when we pull, we go to the inside. So the transition from where we turn from yang muscle or outward energy to inward is on this body line, the shift of the body line. And what we were doing right now, because we were doing the alternate in and out, we were passing that body line. So let's do the exercise like this. Like we're turned, we're gonna like do the loop here and stretch slightly with the fingers here to turn to the body line. Obviously my hands are, one is like closer to the body and one is further away, but they're both on the body line. So we start to recognize that, like the open and close. So we do the shift and we turn to feel, okay, is this, my hands are on the body line? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna, from here, shift over. This is gonna go on the inside of the shoulder to the absorb, and this going out slightly. And then stretch and loop to come here to the body line again. Let's do that a couple of times. Really square up, stop and just, okay, body line. Stop, body line, okay. And again. Okay, good. So this means we recognize not only the 3 points from the turning up or forward and back, that we recognize the 2 different muscle groups. Later on, we recognize that the upper body and the lower body are put together differently, or how to say, like the lower body has a yang set of muscle here and the yin muscle here. The upper body has yin muscle in the front and yang muscle on the back. We recognize the open and closing and relation of the absorbing energy in the front, like when you close, and the projecting energy as you come outside the opening and closing of the shoulder here. Okay, good. So after we do this, it was not all the exercises of the basic exercise number 2. This is just a taste to let you see the connection, to drag it in. So for the third one, we're going to go into more using the 3D space, you could say. And in each one, we divide it in a horizontal plane, right? The horizontal, which is level with the floor, and a frontal plane, which is up and down and to the sides, and a sagittal plane, which is like basically forward, down, and up. But for this class, we're just going to do the horizontal, just to give you a little bit of taste of that. Okay, because the reason I want to do that is because now you can relate the lower body, upper body with the opening and close to project a punch that you can practice at home. So you can do something with this material for this class. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to, like, if I'm here on this line, as we've been up until this point, of course you can do absorb, project also in another stance. But here, we're going to take a small step forward. Like, you see the line in the center here. I'm going to be on this side of the center. Just slightly turn the foot like 5 degrees in. I'm going to step backward and turn the foot out like 45 from this line. So I'm going to be in a front stance here. Okay. Now from here, as much as possible, I'm going to try and keep the alignment. Now, since we changed the foot, is there still a balance beam line here? Remember, when I was here and the pressure was in the center, I was on the balance beam line here. And I was able to put the alignment line, remember, from the top of my head to my perineum point on the cross here. So whenever I moved, I hold that center line to generate or to spin. If I change my stance here, obviously the cross won't turn, but it's actually the same thing. If I step on here, you can see I'm on the line, right? This means if I'm here, this cross, it still relates to the alignment line. So I can still turn and open and close and hold the alignment. Okay? Now, in the curriculum itself, we have something that we call the diagnostics on how to fix your alignment line, you could say. And they're called the 13 points, which means there are 13 physical points on the body to help you do diagnostics to check where you are wrong if your alignment is not right. Okay? And I'm not going to do all the points, but I'll do a small demo. So Kevin, can I borrow you again? Like I'll do two of the 13 points. Like one of the 13 points is the knee here pointing to the center of the foot here, like the shin pointing here to the center of the foot. So if Kevin here does me a favor and like pull my hands, like pull, I'm able to withstand. Here, I'll show you here because I keep the knee here pointing to the big toe. Okay? If I take this knee and I do a more than 90 degrees here, and Kevin, I'm going to really try and stay here. You try to see where the energy goes. Okay, again. So I'm going to go here. And you pull, you can pull. Yeah. You see? I'm able to stand. Okay? If I move my knee here and he pulls again, you see where the energy goes. It's taken out by the knee here. Another point is that we do is if you can be in a change, it's better for the camera, this foot in front. Another point is the shoulder over the hip, right? So if I put the shoulder here over the hip, over Kevin's hip here, and I press, he should feel that the pressure here is coming down to his hip. Now, if I press here and he keeps the point, this should help him to maintain, right? So that's why we call it the diagnostics. If I change the hip here so that the hip is out and the shoulder here, they're not above each other, check what happens if I press down. The whole body collapses. So in the system, thank you again. Thank you. So in the system, again, it has these tools to help you recognize and realize, and if something is wrong, you can go back. I can go back to the 13 points, do diagnostic. Okay, I see. That was my point that was out. Okay, so for this one, the third exercise, we call it the horizontal. Yeah. So we're going to be in the front stance. And we're going to start to do the same thing, absorb, project, opening and closing, but keeping this forearm here in a horizontal manner, like level to the floor. And keep the elbow wrapped here. Okay? Now, I'm going to shift over here so you can see better. For the horizontal, this joint here, the hand will always be slightly up it can be fully up, but never below horizontal here. So it can be slightly up here for this exercise. So we're going to do like circle 1, like absorb coming in, and see now if you can hold the alignment and use the yin and the yang muscle and shift over. Remember, we're doing the loop. So we're doing a loop this way. Before we did it this way, and coming out and stretch to come in. Yeah. So if we can do the circle this way, that means we can also do it the other way. So this way is absorb, project, absorb, project. Also, I can add in that if the hands comes towards you, you're slightly moving towards the hands. And if the hands are moving away from you, you're slightly moving away from your hands. Which means basically, I'm going to my front, but keeping the center. Remember, the center point. I'm going to the back, but keeping the center. So I'm still actually doing the same as in the rocking that we recognized. So just to drag that into this exercise. If I can do the circle this way, that means I can also do the circle this way. So I'm going to do here, here. Okay. Just 1, 2, 1. Recognize the body line, the transition, the body line. Okay, so if I can do it this way, I can do it this way. That means I can also do this way. You could say it's alternate, yeah? One is doing project, one is doing absorb. Turn, one is doing absorb, project. Turn on the body line. Check yourself sometimes. Yeah. To hold the alignment. Spin. That means if I can go this way, I can also go this way. If you feel at some point there's some tension somewhere, that you're probably leaning. So try to check back. Come back and relax a little bit, stand up, and try to go back into it. Because sometimes we need to stretch our attention to do more than just one thing at a time. And at least, you know, for the first time you do this exercise, you have a tendency to, at least for my my own experience, that I have a tendency to like be so fixed on this doing the circles that I'm like pulling myself out a little bit. So we need to bring our attention to ourselves, and not just here on ourselves, but also on the hands, to do like both. I heard somewhere that you can only do one thing at a time, and then if you do more than one thing at a time, it's your mind changing back and forth. I don't believe that. Like I drive a car. I don't know if others here also drive a car, but I know the first time I was in the car, I could not, you know, shift and do the brake and driving and shifting at the same time, looking in the mirror and my body talking to me. That was like, I could not do that. I could only do like one thing. But as my attention grew, I was able to steer, shift, and do the gearing at the same time, talking to my friend, shifting the music on the radio, looking in the mirror, looking in that mirror, looking in the front, you know. So I believe you can stretch the, your mind. Okay, so we did this one. We did this one. We did. So next one would be this one here. And also the other way. Yeah. So for this ones, when your arms cross here, you want to pay attention to the center line too, like this here. 1, body line, 2, 1, 2, 1. The transition here, 2, 1, and then 2, 1, 2. When your hands cross here, it's okay that the hands cross, and you can do like alternate if you like, as long as this is horizontal here. 1, you can do this on top for this one. 2, do the same arm on the bottom. The hands can cross here. You see this, my zipper here? So my body, my center line. The hands, it's okay that the hands cross here as long as the wrists don't cross over. Because if my wrists cross over here and there's a force coming in here, I'm not able to back it up. So as much as possible, we want to keep the joints where they are able to connect, to move freely here, not being like used up in that sense, like locked. Okay. And the other way. Because in actuality, we did today look at structure on how to hold the alignment to do the turning of the alignment line and do the alignment up and down. When you do the alignment up and down, it kind of already has a horizontal to it, horizontal energy to it that you can raise, that you can have here, lower it. This has the same energy to it that you can turn and use. Okay? So when we started this, I wanted to give you something that you can look into your body. At the same time, you can do something a little bit more fast to play with. Kevin, can I borrow you? So you might not have a partner, but you can do this in the mirror or you can do it by yourself. If you hold you can fists, please. So obviously my training partner here is just a dummy right now. So from here, I'm going to use this exercise like 1, 2, 1, 2 with a little bit of stepping. Okay. So I'm going to go in. I'm just going to hold my alignment and move my alignment and use this wipe as we just did, because I was doing project, absorb, and this one project. Okay. So just to play with it a little bit. You can do, okay. Or you can do like 1, 2. You can do it. Or you can do this way. 1, 2, 3, and this. 1, 2, play with it. So 1, 2, 3, clear. Use this. Wipe. Wipe. Because if you hold your hands up, This has an energy to it because you're stacking up. You're stacking up your body and you keep the alignment. This kind of naturally feels a bit heavy, right? Now from here, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm fairly relaxed where I'm staying. Can you lift my arms, Kevin? Can you lift my arms? It's not so easy, right?
Yeah.
Can you just step away? They're just there. So it's not like if you hold your hands, it's not like I'm doing this to over exaggerate. Because I'm stacking up, because my yin muscle is drawing, my yang muscle is expanding, this naturally feels heavy. Yeah. Since I know my own alignment, I can feel his alignment. I can start to absorb his side or push his side. That was a speed course in the the three first basic exercises. Now, is there any questions so far?
Hi, Aspen. Earlier on, you mentioned one of the 13 points is the knee in line with the big toe. And then
Yes.
also said aligning the front of the shin to the center of the foot. Is that a more refined way of looking at that, or is there a different idea behind it?
I would say it's a more refined idea of that same. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So that would be because you have the triangle energy, right? Like if I'm here and my perineum point is kind of like on top of a triangle, right? If you build something, you know that a triangle that's the top, it's the highest point that has structure. Yeah.
Yes.
Which means if I take the knee out further than here, this is no longer, though it doesn't have the triangle energy. In that sense, the energy stops here. The triangle is now changed from here to being shifted over, and I am not able to support it anymore. There was somebody raising their hand? No. Any other questions? Okay. I have no idea how much time I just used for this. So, what time is it, Kevin? Okay. Oh, that's not too bad. That means we have still 5 minutes. Okay. So for the 5 minutes, we'll do a recap real fast. We did the rocking to recognize the two different muscle groups, and there is a center. In the center, I'm able to relax, to be free, to feel the alignment. If I'm not free, I'm stuck. Let's say there is some muscle here that is pressing, like I have some trauma or some physical thing that makes this muscle tight, or joint, actually, joints that string up. This will push here, and I will compensate here and bring my alignment out, right? So that's why we have the 13 points to check if my alignment is off. I can check with the 13 points to get my alignment back on track. Okay, so we did that. We did absorb project to feel the yin muscle and yang muscle coming down, not losing the center. And then going up, felt the yin muscle and yang muscle coming up. We did the alternate, which made us realize that we also shifted from the yin on this bone here, this leg, to the yang crossing up here. And then opposite, yin drawing here on the front and the young dropping here on this leg. So crossing over, which kind of, in that sense, divide the body in four when it comes to muscle. I mean, the body is still one thing, but in that sense, if you break it down. And for the second exercise, we also realized there's an opening and a closing of the joints. We looked at the shoulder. Of course, all the joints are opening and closing. But for this one, I wanted you to see that when the arm is on the outside of the body line, you're projecting. When the arm comes and the shoulder is closing, you're on absorbing. Now, putting this into horizontal, we did the circles. So we see that within these movements, we all have this alignment line, absorb, project, and the four, dividing it in four. And then we had a little bit of look at the stance. And as we were talking about a little bit the triangle power of the balance beam line and the center of the cross here that you can see here lined up with the perineum point and the top of my head. Yeah. So that I have as much power as my potential, I would say. I want to be able to use my whole body. So you can play with it. You can do it slow, and if you like, you can do it fast. You can start to like punch a bit. You can pull and punch, pull, punch, pull, punch, pull, right? So you can play with it or just do push, 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 just to play with it a little bit. It's fun. But sometimes we have to remember that the curriculum is there to make sure that we do not only the fun stuff, because we could quickly go into that trap of doing too much of what we like. So anyway, I think that's what I had for this class today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope that you were able to see why we have a system, how brilliant the system actually is, because it's not like I'm just telling you to be in the corner and do 1,000 punches. You actually go into yourself, you realize this for yourself, and there's something that you just keep for the rest of your life, and actually, if you fix the alignment and the structure, it kind of drags into your health. So let's say you have a bad back and you had some problems. If you really start to look into this and bring your attention to it and do just what we did today, should be able to actually feel the releasing of the joints. Let's say for a back pain, that it could help you because you match up more. Because when the joint is in the center, that's where the muscles relax, right? And sometimes we build up tension and we tighten up and we just are not able to let go for some reason. And these exercises will actually help you for that. I just wanted to bring that in there. Like some of you might be watching the webinars that have been going on. We have different topics. One of them is Qigong. So like what we did today is also Qigong, you could say. So we kind of like they mash into each other. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Aspen, for giving these sessions. So I just want to point out a little bit here the like guided
The topic,
the curriculum here is saying now.
the benefit again.
The benefit of this is here now. First, you see now, as we said that most of the students, they know what they want, right? And they know what they like and they don't like. So, but the problem here, they doesn't really know what they need. So, because as the curriculum is set up that you need to follow closely, it's because that you got to go through the curriculum even if you don't like it. All right. So because that it will point out some things that later on you will see that there's a relationship and connections that move you to progress along down to the very end of the line. All right. In the beginning, students will normally say, oh, this is what I like, what's this I don't like, you see. Then it will fall back to what he think. Right. So
Yeah.
Here is where the curriculum that we said that you need to follow closely, understanding the relationship of each exercise and each level, especially the grading levels. So they would able to bring you to where the end, you see, where you really, really see the whole pictures. All right. So as we said that it's very hard to get out of your own box. You see, we said that in your own past experience until you listen very carefully to the instructions that your sifu or your instructors give the instructions that they can bring you out from your own habit on your own box to see a different view, right? To see a bigger picture. Right. That's why we're always saying that you need to open up yourself to listen. Right. And important things that we say that the learning process, right, is not to accumulate or imitate. It's more of recognizing the moment, the process. Right. We said that learning is to recognize and to realize. Recognizing, of course, we always say that one thing, there's always two things. You can recognize from the past and recognizing from the moment, right? So what is recognizing in the moment? Recognizing in the moment is recognizing what is happening to happen in that very, very moment. To see the relationship, to see the cause and effect, right? And see what is happening. When what is happening over there, there is always a separation and unification, right? And you keep on adjusting this separation and unification here, right? And recognizing what's happening here. And this is what we call the balance point, right? The balance point of keep on adjusting and maintaining it, you see, that you don't change, but you don't change. That means that you are changing all the time to maintain, not to change. That's what you call the balance point. And here is where you are recognizing and keep on adjusting and keep on maintaining of the training process. All right.
Thank you, Sifu. If I may say, we're in this situation and everybody is training from home, and I would definitely recommend that you go into the website. There's a lot of good DVDs that you can get, like in detail, basic exercises like we did today, more in detail. So you should check that out online, and you should definitely keep coming to the webinars. It's really great to see that everybody is coming in and meeting so often. It's really warmth.
Yes, and also in one thing, especially when we are now in the what I call in the quarantine time, right now, you could be very busy watching yourself, watching your
Yeah.
feeling, watching what you touch. You see, watching your thought. All right.
Mhm.
So to maintain yourself at every time in this moment is to watch, to feel your breath. Right? You are feeling your breath, that you are breathing in, breathe out as what you are doing. Even if I'm still talking here, I'm holding on my breath here as a reference. Right? As a reference as I speak. Even I speak, I'm coordinating with my breath. Right? I'm watching my breath as how I speak. There's a coordination here. All right. So in every action, in every movement, right, you can use your breath to coordinate in action, in the touch, in everything. So in that way, you are training the mindfulness training, and you are keep on maintaining this moment. So this is the lifetime training you are bringing into your lifestyle, how you train yourself, right? It's not like now I go to the gym, I train, I go out, I change it, you're done with it. You can never be done. You are always now training. If you put that into training of this attention in every moment, you will see the difference, that you will improve that your attention when next time you come in contact. You see, now what we talk about, you see, we are talking about you need to pay attention. You see, attention on this, attention on that. But practically you must be training what is attention itself here. First of all, we must build up the tool to pay attention. You must recognize the tool itself first. So when you have the tool, then when the tool is strong enough, that if the tool come in contact in anything you come in contact, the things reveal to the tool. Understand? So this is what mindfulness is. This is what awareness is. Is right? So you are training every moment, every second. Okay?
Yes,
All
thank
right.
you, Sigmund.
Is there, guys, any questions here? So no questions, then we it's
I
already
think
what?
there's
Yeah?
something in the chat.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you, our instructor Espen and his assistant Kevin today for sharing with us on the benefit of the guiding curriculum by using by showing examples of our basic exercises on how the curriculum was set up to guide, to improve one's growth and growth in the studies. Yeah, so a lot of like thoughts and effort was put into the curriculum, even in the order of it was being set up. So and one leads to another, and everything has its own meaning. So thank you Esmond for bringing this up and sharing this topic and giving us a chance to explain this. So with that said, we greatly appreciate your reviews and feedback. Some of you have been leaving feedback like every day on how our instructors are doing, and we really appreciate that, and it keeps us going. So to see what what are the benefit that you're getting out of these sessions, what are you learning, what are you looking for to learning more in the future, what do you need, and we will also appreciate it if you could, if you haven't already, like our Facebook pages, and then we set up a review tab on our page that we haven't had before. So we have no reviews right now on our Facebook page. So if you can be the first group of people to give us a review or thumbs up on our Facebook page and recommend us, that would be great. Tomorrow we will actually go more into the Zhongxin Dao learning process. So it's a continuation of the topic today by our instructor Lip Yao. So he will also use some basic exercises to explain the topic on the learning process. And what he wants to convey is, let me see, how to learn internal arts. Is there a principled process to learning internal arts? And what is the mental learning process? And how is the process applied to these exercises that we have in the system? So, we look forward to having everyone back and, share with people that you think might benefit from this. And that's it. And it's great to look, to see everybody again every day. It's good to connect, even if you don't follow us with the exercises. It's good to see everybody's faces. I have you all on gallery view now, and my dad loves seeing everybody.
I love it.
That's his favorite part.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Adriana,
yeah. And every time when he talks, he tells me, he's like, "Where's everyone? Where's everyone? I just see my face. I want to see people."
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to see all the around the world.
Yeah.
All right.
Different ethnicity, different color, different people, and just coming together and staying connected. Yeah.
So okay. Now we thanks Aspen and his son. So Evan? Yeah.
Kevin.
Evan, right? Kevin. Sorry, Kevin. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I did a good job.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
As you guys are
So
hanging
much.
out, I'm looking into everyone. It's good.
Thank you, Aspen and Kevin.
Thank you very
I
much,
try to call
Thank
out.
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. Good night.
Around the world, around Europe, and seeing people now, but we're here.
Thank you.
Boxes.
Yes.
All right.
Very good. Michael, huh?
Yeah, I just finally got my camera and I plugged it in today and trying it out.
Okay.
Yes, nice.
You guys can see me,
Yeah.
right?
It's good lighting.
So when you try to give a session?
Let me know when you want me.
Oh, there's what I call a sign-up sheet. When you are available, you can sign up for that.
Where's the sign-up sheet?
Contact me.
Okay,
Yan, contact Yan.
all right.
And good place you have there, Espen, by the way. Is that your garage?
This is my garage. Yeah. I threw out the cars. And I just, we're
Very
here.
nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, we might be moving soon, so hopefully we can set up something like that too. And then
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we try to get a place in Queens in the.
Oh, okay.
yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we can have classes again. In the
So
city.
practically, we are now under contract